This is Abdullah Kashmura, class CIS210, data structure and elementary algorithm. This is video number 3 for the final project. So the next one is the frequency sort menu, and in this menu we have to create an index list in case it's not created, and we can run the frequency sort, which is going to create us the sorted list by how many times the number appeared. And also it shows if there is the file created, and also is going to show me whether the this is for the file creation. It's going to go check it. I already created something that's going to check if the file exists or not, and returns true or false. Also there is the feedback, which is going to show before the selection, and there is the selection and goes to a switch. So in case we do the first one, which is create index file, is going to go to frequency sort to the index search, and it's going to create my file, the index file, and return that file has been created to the feedback. Also we can do the run the frequency sort, and what that is going to do first is going to check if the file is created. In case it hasn't created, then it's going to say unable to run, file need to be created. Otherwise it's going to run that class that is in the index search that I showed in the first video, and it's going to return a feedback message saying that list has been created, saved to a location, and it's going to show me the location where it's saved. This class, what it's going to do is going to take the name of the file that's going to save, and also is going to take the list that is going to save, and is going to return a message saying where the location it has been saved and the name of the file and everything. Otherwise, go back to the menu, and the default is just put in the feedback that it's invalid selection. Now for the bubble sort reader file, what this is going to do is going to read the file to make sure it's not empty, and bubble sort file writer, this is going to write the file for the bubble sort. Now for the search menu, this is the main menu for the search menu, which is whether we want to go to the linear search, index search, TDQ using 4 containers, or recursive TDQ using 9 containers, or back to main menu or exit. So far I have 3 exits, and back to select type, which means that goes back to the whether we want sort or search programs. Now it's going to print the menu and a simple select, and in case the wrong one is going to be invalid selection. Now for the linear search, we do not need to create a file. We do not to check for a file. We don't really do anything to perform the program, so we don't have to check for any file. So we can just either run find search, find most least common, create no repeated list, and so on, or go back. Now that is simple because it's simply a switch case, and it's just gonna go and run the programs that I created previously. Of course, I modified all the programs so that it doesn't have to run from its own main menu, but it shows its own feedback also. And otherwise, in the case 3, that would be creating no repeating. Yes, it's going to show feedback that list has been created. It's going to show me where I saved it. The index search, first we have to check that we need to create an index file, and then we can perform all the other operations. And also every time to perform an operation is gonna show how long it took to perform that operation. So we have the create index file, the first one. This is feedback to see if the index file is created. This is going to create the index file. Case 2 is going to find the range, and 3 find most least common. And of course, before performing any task, it has to see if the file is created. Otherwise, it won't be able to perform any task, and so on. Number 4 also has to check the file. Then it's going to tell me where it's going to save the list that created a non-repeated list. Now TDQ is the same thing as TDQ10. The only difference is the program that it's going to access, and almost the same as the index search. I have the create the list, find the range, find most least common, create non-repeated list, and whether the containers are created or not. So it's the same thing. First one's going to create me the files or the container, and each step is going to check if the file is created or not. If not, then it's going to say unable to run because the file has not been created, because that's how the others except for the linear search works. There has to be a container or something created. And same for now repeated list. And in case invalid selection is going to print invalid selection. And this is also the same. It's just that it's using recursive TDQ and it's also using 10 containers. Since I already wrote the code in another program, I only need to call that program and create the files. I do not have to rewrite any program. I just did a little modification, and this is going to find the range, the most least common. Also is going to check if the file is graded. In case it's not graded, then it's not going to be able to perform it. And this is to create a non-repeated list. Same as the other. First is going to have to check if it's created, then it's going to create my file, and it's going to send it to this class, which is going to send the file name and send also take the location, the list, and it's going to give us back the location, which is this file. So this one is to clear the screen. This one is to get the path. This is for saving the path, which is the path of the file. And for saving files, where I want to save my files in this menu, and also this thing for saving the files. For example, I'm going to give it a string, file name, and a list, and it's going to take that string and list is going to save it in this location under this file name, and the list, which is it's going to save this list into that directory, and return me back the location where it was saved so that I can know.